Hey nerds, join us on Discord and hit that subscribe button.
Hello, I'm Shane.
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 And I'm your recapper, Shane. Welcome to Harken Back. With naught but a few days' time to spare before the Kodam Vo would have to appear for the Drow's baleful recrudescence of his rune, lest he and all those connected to him die, our heroes turned to Xavier for advice on the fastest path to Doirnin.
So, depending on the timescale, this is probably the one that you're going to want to go to, the one right here just outside of the city. And then from there, it's just about a day and a half travel down into the Underdark, into the city of Doirnin.
A day and a half walking?
Yes. I mean, it's the Underdark. It takes quite a bit of time to get there.
Is there any way to get there faster? Because we only have 3 days before lots and lots and lots of people die.
I think slightly less.
There is one quicker way, but it's a much darker path. There are some ancient and evil magics within that cave.
You'll never believe which path they chose. Posing as a patchwork potpourri of pedantic portal probers, the plucky party passed pliant perusal, pacified their panic, and plunged promptly into the portentous pitch of prospective pain. Not long into their journey, they began to notice some things feeling slightly off, even for the Underdark.
As you look down, just at the end of your vision, you see a humanoid head pop out of the river.
Oh no, there's something in the water?
Yeah,
there are lots of things in the water.
No, like a head.
What?
Does it look deep enough to even have a...
No, it looks maybe a couple feet deep.
This, plus the sound of a child crying, drove them faster and faster to the source of all the oddities.
And
Together.
as you just get the kid out, the shadow begins to move into the room. As you can see this singular orb moving into the room. And as it passes by the light, you can see a couple of tentacles coming off of this central orb.
What?
As you can see one massive eyelid open up in the
No,
middle.
you don't.
Why with
And
eyes?
several eyelids open up from the tentacles.
Crap.
It seems we have intruders.
The anti-magic field wielding, disintegration ray spewing, chompity schmompity biting beholder pushed the agents to their limit.
Actually I get an additional ray. So I actually have a fourth ray.
Oh, it's another ray.
So I
Okay,
actually
okay.
had 4 orbs of glass. I knew that, because I knew that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
You quickly pull one more out and throw it.
All right.
join the party, little guy. The first one misses. The second one hits, does 7 points of damage. The second one,
Third one.
or third one, yes.
What are you doing?
God, I'm so nervous.
I know.
What is happening to me right now?
Beholder, that's what's happening.
Once Olma burst the barbarous ball of eyes, the party loaned some of Flynn's figurines to the drow child they'd freed from the cell, hoping to learn more of what lay before them. If not from him directly, then from his recently deceased kin.
Keep his eyes off me for a bit, alright?
What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to talk to his mom.
I start to play with them on the ground, and then I take my hand away from one, and I use my mage hand to take it and start moving it around and tell them a story of these 3 dwarven triplets and their adventures to find gold.
What war are you fleeing?
A war that has not yet begun. A war for all of creation. A war that will decide our future for a millennium.
While the boy's mother was able to give ominous speeches and her last wishes of delivering her child Nalfane to the Freywood, Nalfane himself actually proved to be more useful for their immediate needs.
This is the fastest way.
Right, but we want to go quietly, secretly.
I mean, those are 2 different things. You want to get there quickly, or do you want to get there secretly?
Secretly, child.
Okay, follow me.
When they arrived in Doirnin, however, they heard the echoes of resounding war drums and caught sight of the Shinzo siblings, 2 of the leaders of the Order of the Red Wolf.
A pair of drow step out, and the crowd gets even louder.
Shite.
Should we stay and maybe it'll help us figure out what the war is?
It's a good distraction for us.
If we can get in and out before they're done whatever they're doing here.
Yeah, you're right.
With the help of Olma's spellcasting, the party headed up toward Doirnin's castle, disguised as a drow priestess and her entourage. They made it pretty far for a group with only 1 speaker of Undercommon.
This is the premier researcher in the study. She's taken over.
I have not heard of any shift change.
It's not a shift change. It's a new master. And she doesn't like a lot of talk.
Any change in staffing would have gone through me first.
Even from those above your station.
There aren't many above my station. And trust me, it would have been communicated.
That is...
And the drow in front of you takes his hand and he rubs it against the leather wrap around his wrist and forearm. You can see these circular runes begin to form in the space about a half an inch off of the surface. Ma'am, there are a few people here requesting a change in shift.
Perhaps
I just
we
wanted
are
to
in
run
the
it by
wrong
you.
place. We're looking for the laboratory.
It does appear that you're in the wrong place. Maybe we can escort you down to the courtyard. As he snaps his fingers and two more of the guards
I looked at
come down
Alfane
towards you.
and I shrug. Sometimes, got to do violence, and I will fucking take a swing at this guy.
Folks, this was no small combat encounter. Still overdrawn from not one, but two previous high-stakes confrontations, the Agents of Repair did battle with a seemingly endless supply of drow soldiers, their priestess supervisor, and her summoned demon Yaklal. Speaking of demons, well, let's just say they're in no short supply on this adventure.
Hold my hand up and I look at this blade that I'm struggling to use.
It's not enough.
And I drop it, and as I drop it, it disappears. And I close my eyes, and I think of a small, dark room.
If you're there, I need your help. I need your power again. Please.
And you can see the long, dark, shadowy form creep up behind you. And you take 2 steps back in fear when the back of your foot hits the pedestal in the middle of the room. You turn around, and on that pedestal, you see what looks like a contract. Every time you try and concentrate on a word, it almost shifts and moves, and you just can't pick out any of the words. Sign.
You'll be able to help? You'll be able to give me the power?
Sign.
This better work.
And I sign the paper with my name, Flynn
And as
Fellowweave.
you get halfway through your name, the quill almost takes on a life of its own, and it rushes your hand across the paper. As you feel the space and the muscles underneath your skin begin to change, you feel an intense pain as you can feel your chest begin to expand and you can feel your ribs crack and break.
Dragloth Flynn ravaged the battlefield, cementing an otherwise uncertain victory for our heroes. Once inside the barricaded laboratory, he resumed his halfling form, prompting Kellic to ask the only available question.
What did you do, Flynn?
I got power.
Amidst a series of rooms of test subjects and soldiers at rest, they found the lab of Lowlinthrier Ivanomith, the scientist herself suspended in some torturous contraption linked to her memory crystal. Once she was freed from the machine, the gang learned an important truth. Only Lowlinthrier could use her memory crystal. Only Lowlinthrier could free the victims of the Kodam Vo.
You have a chance here to redeem yourself for the work you've done. You of us get an opportunity like that.
Just get me out of here and I will reverse whatever I did.
As luck would have it, Lowlinthrier had access to a teleportation circle. Granted, one she did not know how to use. But as they prepared to depart, they discovered that Nalfane had fled from the battle and been locked outside of the lab.
That boy is outside. If we get this working, we need to grab him.
He might be okay. He's also drow and maybe he hid.
You want to take that risk and leave him?
It's not that I want to take the risk, it's that we might have to.
We have to.
Hey, I'll stay and get the boy.
You absolutely will
I'm
not.
not leaving a child.
I'm the only one who can exist here. The only one of us who can make it anywhere. So if you're going through the portal, then let me stay. Let me help the boy.
Kellic Grey, I will drag you kicking and screaming through this portal. You will stay right here. Do not leave this room.
They left Nalfane behind. But only a few hours passed before Thessaly hatched a plan to retrieve the drow child.
I would like to flex the rules on Find Steed a little bit and create a celestial form of a giant spider.
We're sending a luminous spider mount to gather you. Get on its back, and it'll bring you to safety.
I don't know what luminous means, but that sounds hardcore.
He's alive. And
That is good
he
news.
sounded well. He sounded all right.
Can you talk to anyone? Anyone at all?
I think I have to be able to recognize the thread of them.
Mm-hmm.
Is there someone you want to talk to?
No, why would you say that?
Well, it's kind of the way that your questions seem to be leading.
Landing somewhat randomly in the basin, the Agents of Repair got some much-needed sleep. But they were beset by troubling dreams. Kellic was visited by a bickering Famir and Zachriel.
How do people know to trust your judgment, I suppose, when there is such fallout?
Exactly.
Right, but Zachriel, sometimes it seems like you're not doing anything. And then it's like people are dying on your watch while you do nothing.
Yes, see, we have to do something.
Well, I have a bit of a potentially outrageous suggestion, but maybe it will lead, I think if you speak your ideas out loud, then sometimes you find the better version. You've given me power to represent you. The both of you so far have let me use it however I wish, because you're putting that faith in me. What if you put your faith in all the people of Elbor?
Sometimes you just have to make decisions that aren't good for everyone.
Seeker had a little one-on-one with himself.
What do you want? I'm just trying to figure this out. Trying to figure out who I am. You look scared, and I don't think you belong here. I don't think we want you here. I don't think you're allowed to be here. Maybe you're right. I lost my way. It's just trying to protect myself. My family, those people, they've done so many things in the name of Lars that were wrong. What do you know? You're a scared boy. Even with that fear, I keep going. And I stand for something now. I believe in more. I do belong here. You don't belong here.
And Thessaly dreamt once more of Ayana being chased by demons. This time through the air.
I want to run forward, and I don't have a way to get in the air.
And as you concentrate, that silvery glow that you are familiar with that emanates from your chest and your heart begins to pulse. And with each pulse, vroom, 2 stars appear at your shoulders. Vroom, 2 at your shoulder blades. Vroom, to extend out from your shoulder blades. Vroom, vroom, vroom. As these stars extend out and almost create a constellation of wings behind you.
But once this dream fight began, Thessaly's survival instincts in the real world alerted them to the presence of an invader in their room.
I don't know, I turn my head, like trying to discern what's going on.
This noise is not from within your dream, as you hear
Oh no.
creaking of wood. We have just a couple more. Please, I'll explain everything.
Someone else needs me. I will find you. I will find you. And I'm going to try to wake up.
The invader had come and gone. Teleporting back to the void with the compliant Lolinthier in tow, Flynn raised doubts to Kellic about the odds of their plan working, revealing some disquieting insights on his state of mind.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did she say she worked on him? Is she
Yes.
the one that made the curse connections?
Yes, Flynn, she invented it.
Cool. So
Did that just...
this whole time, I don't know why, but I felt like she was someone that was in trouble and is innocent and all this. But now I'm just putting it back together that they're also a bad person.
Well, then these things aren't so black and white as good and bad people. Lolinthier was serving her country,
Yeah.
she thought. I mean, I don't know if you read the journal, but it details that she was assigned to do this for a noble reason. The idea was to create more empathy, because the rune was originally designed to bestow the feelings of the people upon a leader. And then, of course, it became another thing, which was then weaponized by, to use an appropriate word, monsters.
Seems like there's a lot of monsters I did not expect for.
You're telling me.
I found this book. I can't read it, but I'd like it back.
Where do you find this? What is this?
In that monster's room.
Do you think the person who invented your sword is a monster, Flynn?
Honestly, I don't know anymore. I'm just going to start doing what I feel like I want to do. I just want to make sure that the spell that she's about to do is going to do what she says it does.
Well, you gotta have some faith in people that they want the redemption that they seem to crave. From, if you looked at her writings, it seems she was full of regret.
With bated breath, they observed the results of Lolinthier's counter-curse.
As her eyes roll back, Kodamvo jolts forward, almost straining the ropes. As Lolinthier opens her eyes, she takes her knife out once more, walks up to Kodamvo, and very gently places the knife on his cheek. At this point, she is facing away from you, looking at Kodamvo. She slices the knife down his cheek, and you can just see the blood coming down as Lolinthier stands up, turns around, and has no cut on her face.
His pernicious rune removed, Kodamvo had but one card left to play. Fortunately, not one with a blue dragon on it.
I was just getting fruits and vegetables for my family in Stillgate. Where am I now?
What's your name?
James?
Pretty incredible artwork you've got there on your flesh.
These are not mine. Did you give these to me?
How did he know his arms were covered in tattoos?
Well, James will look up on your family and make sure they're doing well and keep them fed and all that good stuff. Flynn? With Nalfane temporarily safe and the Code Envoy effectively incapacitated, the agents of repair, it seemed, had succeeded. But not without a cost.
Can I not have the horns?
And as you open your eyes again, your forehead is stinging a little bit.
I'll kind of slowly, hesitantly bring my hands up to my forehead to feel for the horns.
They are longer now.
Who's keeping the
From
lid?
Flynn to a sheep to a cage, and we'll just repeat that until there's no more demons left.
Yeah, or we could just all die.
Better that. And make whatever kind of bargain you've made, Flynn.
Whatever.
Wait, how did you find like an item or something? What did you do? How did you
An item seeker.
what?
Were you born yesterday?
No. Wait, no.
Did you not see what he became?
Vaguely. And I was kind of mad that you didn't do it again so we could get that boy, but I'll come back to that.
I did what I needed to do.
The deal had been made. Kid.
Nothing good can come from this.
We are alive. Something good has come.
We would have found a way. There are other ways.
I made a choice, and we got out.
And now we all have to live with it.
I didn't start the fight, but
You
I
would have
ended
us
it.
get captured instead of saving the people of the world? I took a man's life. You made a contract with the devil. What was it, Flynn?
What?
What did you exchange?
I don't know.
Grand!
You don't... Wait. You made a deal, but you...
I had to do
So
something.
how can you make the adjudication that it was worth it?
Because we're alive.
You don't know what you've given. With no pressing concerns for the first time in a long time, Olma had a suggestion for their next route.
Maybe like an easy one for right now. That could be towards the top of the list.
Sure,
It's
what are you thinking,
like
Olma?
going to Sunplume. And maybe Graves?
Huh?
Olma's family. To set up a means of returning to the void from any location, Kellic and Thess ventured to the snowy graveyard in Marstock. But Flynn's ambiguous pact haunted everyone's thoughts.
I don't like being bound to Fenra. It feels to me the same way that you feel about Flynn's pact with this thing.
Why?
Because I don't think the gods are good. The only good I see come out of the gods are people like you. And that's very rare.
I have to admit, my recent conversation with them was not encouraging. If I could give you the kind of love that I felt from Famir, from Fenra, of course, I wish I could do that.
I don't know if that exists for me, Kellic.
I just see the kind of influence that power has over Flynn, and the need he has to be seen as powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people that could use that against Flynn, let alone demons. I don't know if I can hold a candle to that.
We're all going to have things to struggle with. I think another thing a good family does is make sure you don't give in to your worst faults.
I've felt so brutally there, Tesla.
You did what you thought was right, and we were attacked by an army of very bad people doing incredibly bad things. We saw when we found Lolanthyr the extents they were willing to go to. That's not your fault.
We can go back. Don't want to force you to stay in graveyard any longer.
Take me anywhere. Keen eyes. I've got it. Bring up any more dead bodies.
Yes, and you've kept me from my faults, I suppose.
Did you do it just to save us?
Will you be mad if I say no?
Does it matter?
I mean, I told you I've been trying to figure this magic stuff out, and I feel like I have been working my way through most of it. And it wasn't enough. I did also do it to save everyone. I didn't know what else to do.
You said to me once that it seems like all we have to do is ask for power, and we get it.
I literally just did that.
Well, but everything has a cost.
I signed a contract for this. It's written, so...
Maybe we can check with Husk.
And then figure out how to read it. And then maybe there's answers on what the rules are. Maybe there's answers on... Maybe there's answers.
Better that you know the rules, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, I know no time passes when we're in the husk, but I don't want to wait any longer to find out where I come from.
A heavy silence hanging on their shoulders, the agents of repair are heading to Sunplume. The source of Olma's power smoldering somewhere on the horizon. What is the cost of power? Agreements with gods, contracts with demons, These wars fought for creed and soil all weigh each sacrifice differently. Can the agents of repair find a solution that really is good for everyone? Find out next time on Venture Forth.